Hello and welcome to Taking the Wheel, Living with Intention. I'm your host, Jeremy Nias. Today I wanted to talk about commanding one's thoughts. Something that's been going on in my life a lot recently, probably before the holiday season, was going through a lot of anxieties. I was worried about a lot of things. I had a lot of things going through my head, and that made waking up in the mornings difficult. As I was preparing to go to work, that was just overcoming my mind, was all these insecurities and uh, worries about day-to-day life and especially the future. And as I'm trying to get into better habits to prevent that, one of the things that I'm trying to do is to truly command my thoughts, to not let my mind go to the deep, dark places where anxiety likes to lie. Um, I've gotten some help with that, but one of the things that I try to do is uh, put my thoughts into certain categories. If I find myself worried about something that I certainly cannot take care of right before work or solve or anything like that, I try to put that in a box, let that have its moment later, to think about the things that are pressing right now, think about the things that are important, try to put myself in a better mood, so that the day is more successful, less miserable for me mentally. I think it's a very helpful mental tactic for mental health, and so we, uh, I think that that's a help to anyone battling with any kind of anxieties. We just get caught in this loop. Those of us who struggle with anxiety, we get caught in this loop of thought, of worry. What if this? What if this? And that leads to another thing. And before we know it, we've reached so far away from reality that anything can happen in those type of scenarios, you know. Another point to this is that commanding your thoughts and speaking of trying to take control, one thing that I think we have to do is to have faith, because when we're in control, who knows what can happen? You know, that's a scary thing. So a way that I've been trying to command my thoughts, and I hope that this will be helpful for you as well, is to truly trust God. It's one of the things that I realized recently, is that maybe I don't trust God to the point that I should. Maybe I don't have the correct amount of faith in that regard. I think about the future, and I have insecurities about, trying to provide for my family later on down the road, and how things might change, and where am I going to live, and how we're going to pay for our kids, and all that kind of stuff. And all those things may be valid concerns and valid thoughts to have from time to time. But if I truly believe in God and believe that He's going to take care of me, well, then why am I thinking about that on a Monday morning? Why am I thinking about that anytime? Yes, it does take forethought, and I think that's one of the ways that God takes care of us, is He gives us wisdom to take care of us, and to plan ahead, and that forethought. But if He just left us up to our own devices, we're going to make poor choices. But God promises that those that follow Him, He will take care of. He will give us what we need. So that's something that I'm trying to trust in more and more. And it certainly does help with my anxieties that I go through on a day-to-day basis. I hope that that would help you. If you battle with anything like that, truly continue to build that relationship with God and believe Him. Believe what He says. It's interesting because people in the Old Testament didn't believe God, right? They would have followed His commands if they had believed Him. Then we get to the New Testament, and people still aren't believing what God says. And we look at that and we're like, oh, how could these people be so ignorant? How could they be so foolish? Meanwhile, I'm over here being anxious about things that God knows how to take care of. And if we share our concerns with Him, like He commands, those things will work out as He sees fit. And personally, how God sees fit, that's what's important to me, not how I see fit. I need to train my mind more so in that way. I'd much rather trust someone who's all-knowing than someone who is 22. It makes mistake after mistake on a daily basis. Command your thoughts, but let God command your life. Hope this is helpful for you. Take the wheel. Live with intention. We'll talk at you next time.